What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and I thought we'd get the show on the road with Cersei, starting her off in Stage 9 against Null. And I'll show you guys the build after this. You might be quite surprised with what you're going to see from this character. It's pretty bonkers, and why don't you just take a look at that damage that she just put out. Cersei's got some power, but there are some caveats to this character. She definitely isn't perfect, and that's really mainly because of the damage accumulation based on damage you take. Every time you have a character like this, you have to play them, you have to be pretty skilled and have to know exactly when Null's going to do certain attacks, or Mephisto or whoever, so that way you can accumulate damage and do a lot of damage. And in this uniform, Cersei only has a 6-second accumulation window, right? It only lasts for 6 seconds, so you really got to try to take damage during that 6-second window and then land your proc on the 5 and the 4. And I'll talk a little bit more about the rotations later on, but I just want you guys to watch this run at Stage 9 with this particular build that I have on her. And I'm only using one support. Now, I am using Valkyrie because she does offer 30% ignore dodge. Cersei has no ignore dodge in her kit at all, other than the 70% ignore dodge from her awakened skill. So when you do your awakened skill, it's not a big deal as far as when you're facing Null, but whenever you're using your regular skills, because she hits like a truck, guys. She hits like an absolute truck. If you can accumulate damage and go into the 3, 5, 4, then you're still going to do insane damage. Bars will just start flying from this girl. But she needs some ignore dodge strikers to make up the difference. I have 3 ignore dodge strikers there. So she's only getting, she's getting 90% ignore dodge with Valkyrie's leadership at all times. Whenever she does her awakened skill, then she has 100% ignore dodge. And Cersei can get interrupted. I mean, she does have invincibility, but there is like a little window in between her 5 and her 4 where she can get hit by Null and she can lose her damage and get interrupted. So you got to be real careful whenever you're like in this part of the phase when you're fighting Null. You got to make sure you hit your 3, 5, 4 immediately. And the reason you want to go 3, 5, 4 is because when she does her 4, something that's awesome about her kit is when she does her 4 skill, she's not in an iframe. She can still take damage while she's doing that skill. So the idea is to try to take damage while you're doing your 4 skill. You'll have your accumulation up from your 3rd, and then you try to take damage from 4, just like what I just did there, right? And she can put it out, man. I'm telling you, you're going to be pretty surprised, I think, when you see this build on this character. I do have 13% Pierce on my account. I do have 100% energy attack, and I know that's a lot, but I don't have insane Pierce. Like, it's above, I guess, a lot of players, but it's not insane. It's not insanity at all. And Cersei's strong, guys. Cersei is quite powerful. She's probably around, Sharon Rogers level of power, more than likely. Although I'm not going to really know that until I build her up a little bit more, which we'll do in this video today. But I want you guys to see this first because this is pretty crazy. Now I'm pretty much doing all the damage with Cersei. However, there will be a moment in this fight where I'm actually going to use Valkyrie to do the damage because Cersei is based on taking damage. If she doesn't take damage, she's not going to deal very much damage at all. Now, look what I just did there. I tried to absorb the damage from when the purple explodes there, so that way we could pump out a little bit. And it does work. Another thing about this uniform that's awesome is it gives her a heal on her 3rd skill. And I'm telling you right now, Cersei absolutely needs that thing. If you don't have this uniform and you're facing these World Boss Legends, she's going to take a lot of damn damage. Even with Venom in there, she takes a lot of damage. Not to mention that also with the uniform, she gets a decreased damage received from supervillains by 30%. On top of the decreased damage received that she already has. She's tankier. She has a better heal. She has the higher recovery rate from her uniform effect, so she heals at a faster rate whenever she does apply her heal from her 3rd skill. She's just way tankier. And like in this moment of the fight, you definitely want to be able to use your awakened skill and then get all your accumulation so you can take damage, and boom, look at that. About 1 minute left, my friends. About 1 minute left, right? And we just used Valkyrie for a little bit just to take down about 1.5 bars, and that is it. Now, let me show you something that's pretty damn wild. So this is Cersei and her build. She has 42,000 energy attack. She has pretty much max attack stats. We do have a leadership tag, which is something that we did not take advantage of. So if you have the new White Fox uniform, you can get that 30% more dodge. You can get that chain hit damage. You can get the extra all attack by 15%. I mean, it's pretty nice, guys. It's pretty nice. No Urus. No Urus, my friends. Nothing. Stage 6 Power Angry Hulk set. This is where it gets really interesting. Critical damage with 140% damage proc. Oh, but it gets better. Normal ranked uniform. She has the bare minimum build, right? She has the bare minimum build. There's nothing special on her at all as far as her build is concerned. And if you guys are interested about how many resources you got to use in the Epic Quest to get her fully transcended, it's around 700 CCF, 1,050 Mandalay fragments, 350 Awakened Crystals, and there's a mission where you got to go into the story mode and acquire 40 certain items. But it's really not that bad. Honestly, considering the amount of resources that you have to use to get this girl transcended, she's absolutely worth it. She is a total freaking monster. But the caveat to her is her accumulation. This is the thing that really drives you crazy because you got to accumulate damage in order to deal more damage. That is the thing about this character. And whenever you're doing her rotations, right, whenever you're playing with this character, ideally what you guys saw me do with Null is kind of like what we do with Sharon Rogers in her old uniform, right? You'd hit the 3, try to get Null, take the Necro Sword and stab it down. And before he stabs it down, use your 3 to take some damage, and then run into the purple splotch there, take a little bit more damage, then hurry up and go into your Awakened skill 5-4, get the residual damage from the 5, get the residual damage from the Awakened skill as well as the buffs, and then go into your 4, right? And you will do insanity as far as damage. I mean, you saw the build that we have right now, and you saw the damage that she could put out. It was absolutely nuts. So, I mean, everybody's going to have like different rotations, but I really think when you're facing Null, in certain parts of the fight, you want to use the 3rd skill and just try to accumulate damage. However, the thing about Cersei in her uniform is that when she does her 3, she does a lot of hits. So ideally what you're trying to do is you're trying to get hit from the 3rd skill. You're trying to get hit by the 3rd skill and get guard broken. That way you don't do all that residual damage. That's what you saw me do against Null in the very, very beginning of the fight. And once you do take that damage, remember you got a 6-second window on your accumulation. Then you just go Awaken skill 5, 3, 4, right? Awaken skill 5, 4, right? And do insanity as far as your damage, because you're still going to have that accumulation up during this time period. I mean, you saw the hits. That was just absolutely nutso, right? Cersei's a very easy character to play. What requires the skill is timing her accumulations. That's the thing that's tricky about this character, but literally it is 3, Awaken skill 5, 4. I mean, you could go 3, 3, 5, Awaken skill 4. I mean, or you could just go land the proc on the Awakened skill. But I'm telling you, you'll do more damage if you try to hit the 3, the Awakened skill 5, 4, and take damage while you're during your 4, because your 4 is not an iframe, right? You can still take damage during this thing. So always, either taking damage while you have your accumulation up and having your 4 up at the same time, or just try to time your 3rd skill to where you take a little bit of damage. It gets guard broken so you don't land out this residual damage, right? That way it doesn't set up your proc. And then you can go into your 5-4 afterwards, or go into your Awakened skill 5-4 afterwards, and you will do insanity as far as your damage. So you guys just saw what she did with this build right now. So let me build her up a little bit and let's see what she does next. All right, guys, so now we're back and we have 58,000 energy attack, so a hell of a lot more than what we had before. All of her stats are maxed out. She has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Odin's Blessings. And then all of her energy attack gurus are at Mythic, all amplified slots. I mean, I got her jacked up pretty damn good, but I got to tell you guys, I've been playing with the character for over an hour now, over the last hour with this build. And man, the thing about Cersei, I mean, I hate, talking about this over and over and over again, is this accumulation, man. This is a real RNG crapshoot. Depending on what the boss does, really depends on your damage. And also, Cersei is kind of so-so with the proc. Like, you can't let the 3 play out. It's hard. Like, it's easy to accumulate damage whenever you're doing your 4th skill. But the thing is, sometimes when Null does an attack, he doesn't really do that much damage. And you really don't take a lot of damage from the Toxic Meteorite either. You really want those tentacles to slam down on you while you're doing your 4th skill, right? When you have your accumulation up. Or certain attacks when Null slams down, or maybe the purple blotches that show up. And it just makes her, it makes her pretty difficult to play, in all honesty. Like I said earlier, she requires a lot of skill, a lot of timing, and a lot of patience. And I do think that's going to put people off on her. I really do. I mean, for a free-to-play character, she's amazing. She really is. She has a fully awakened Power Rating Grog set. And now we have a CTP of energy. Now, the beautiful thing about this is now that we have a little ignore dodge, we got 38%, we don't need as many ignore dodge strikers, so we can actually increase or give us some damage to supervillain strikers for this character. And her uniform is actually at Mythic now. And the first uniform says Magneto, then it's Scarlet, which, I mean, that's kind of a bummer there. Then we got Luke Cage, which is great. Then we got Loki, which unfortunately is outdated now. And then we have Ghost here. And I'm just going to show you guys a run in World Boss, just live. We're not going to do any editing. I mean, I might edit one thing out because I want to try to at least get the first shot right as far as going against Null. But something else to keep in mind about Cersei, and really all the Eternals is, well, Cersei especially, is once you get past stage 9, you're pretty screwed because you need male. And then you need male all the way up to damn 15. Then what do you need? You need humans, so you can't use her there. And then you get all up to 20. Well, now you need male superhero, so you still can't use her. So from 1 to 9 you can use her, and then you can use her from 25 to 29, right? Because now you can use females. And I'm telling you, even on my account with 13% pierce and 100% energy tag, even with all these Odin's blessings, stage 25 for her is very difficult, even with this really good build, because there's so much RNG. I mean, and we're going to be using Waves leadership with a 25% increase of all attack, plus the 50% damage dealt to supervillains. And then we're going to have White Fox with a 60% damage dealt to supervillains as well. And White Fox actually has a CTP of Insight on her on top of that. So we got a lot of damage buffs. And since we already have 40% ignore dodge, we only need 2 ignore dodge strikers. And that's exactly what we have with Kate Bishop and Nadia there. And then we got 3 damage dealt to supervillain strikers. So let me show you guys how she performs. And this is live, right? You know, we're not editing this out. We're going to see how well she does. And this is really when you show how good a character truly is, when you can actually run them live. So I'm going to try to do what I did earlier. Try to take some damage. Run into the purple here. And then, boom. Awaken skill 5-4. And look at that damage. Look at that damage, right? That's beautiful. That's beautiful damage. However, you'll find that, you know, taking damage throughout the fight isn't exactly the easiest thing with Cersei. So we'll switch back to her. We're going to wait for Null. There we go. And, you know, like the attack he just did really didn't do that much damage to us. See, that one would have been a lot better. I'm going to come out here and I'm going to come back in here. There we go. There we go. There we go. That was a really good one. We took a little damage from the tentacles. That was nice. That was nice. Okay, we're going to go ahead and switch our character here. All right, and like I said, I've been playing this for the last hour or so, getting in some practice with Cersei. There we go, there we go. We took some damage right there. That was a nice one. That was nice. So far, this run's pretty good. Not too shabby at all. Okay, we didn't want to do that. He's just going to slam his sword down. He's going to do too much damage here. And yeah, we didn't take a lot of damage right there, which really sucks. Okay, he's going to do the tentacle one more time. Yeah, I thought he was going to do the tentacle, so unfortunately we didn't really take much damage from that attack at all. And then them toxic meteorites really don't do that much damage. There we go, there we go, there we go. That was beautiful. And guys, look at the time, right? Look at the time. So a lot of times what happens with a character that whenever you got to accumulate damage is you're killing time trying to take damage, and it just makes these characters very, very inconsistent, right? It's just, it's annoying. Okay, come on, come on, come on, come on. Okay, and now one thing about Cersei is she is really tanky, and look at this. You know, we've already taken over 2 minutes. Now, I've had runs where I've done it faster than this, right? But there's always this RNG as far as when you take damage, how much damage you actually take, keeping your proc where it actually belongs. Because a lot of times the proc will trigger early on the awakened skill. Sometimes it will trigger on the 5, because when you do the 5, you want to do a slight delay. I'm talking like a very, very like not even like a millisecond, like a half a second, even if that, a delay on the 5 to make sure you get the residual damage from it. And man, she's just really inconsistent because of this. And it's like right now, I wouldn't mind hitting the 3 and trying to take damage whenever Null jumps down. But a lot of times what happens is her proc will trigger early. So there we got our proc on our 4. We're taking damage. I mean, you guys can see that. Oh, girl has got some power. Like, seriously. When you take that damage, she just murders. But, you know, like, I think for a lot of players, they're just going to be like, there we go, there we go. I mean, it's a good run so far. This is a good run. We're doing really, really well. I'm actually surprised that we're doing this well live. Now, I'm going to wait for my Awakened skill to get off cooldown before I use it. There we go, there we go. Okay, I'm going to try to run away here. I'm going to try to run away. And I'm going to try to run away, try to run away. Okay, 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 okay. So now Pecker's going to do this. So we're going to go ahead and run around a little bit here. I mean, it's a pretty good run so far. In all honesty, this is a pretty decent run. Now, in stage 25, you know, even though Cersei does have a decreased damage received, if I take damage, like from the purple right now, I will die. Oh, crap. Got time frozen. Come on, Cersei. Come on, Cersei. Come on, Cersei. Come on, Cersei. And that proc come way, way late, that son of a gun. There we go. I tried to get in and squeeze in a little bit more damage there. But like in this highest stage, if I take any damage from the purple whenever it explodes like that, whenever Noel brings it up, I can die pretty damn quick. I tried it earlier and whoa, it wasn't good. It was pretty bad, my friends. So I'm going to try to run away, get away from all that purple because we will die from it. I mean, her debuff is really nice, especially against the meteorites. Like, the girl's got really good survivability. But like right now, we don't want to use our Awakened skill. We want to save it for the last part of the phase because we need to have that damn thing, man. And like right now, we're just not doing enough damage. And if I use my Awakened skill, I'm going to be screwed. Come on, come on, come on, come on. There we go, there we go, there we go. We'll see what happens here, man. We'll switch back to Cersei. Come on, Cersei, come on, Cersei. Let's see what happens. Get out of there, get out of there. Now, look at that, look at that. This was a really good run. We took damage really well throughout the entire fight, for the most part, right? I mean, it's got a couple minor mishaps, but she almost did stage 25, and I did this off the cuff, right? I didn't, you know, plan this out. I didn't edit any of this out, you're right, from the time that I started off with the new build. And it really, she is freaking strong, guys. She's super, super strong. But honestly, this run that you just saw doesn't happen for me every single time. Like, there's a lot of times where I'm just slacking. I got like 6 bars left right here because of her inconsistency. I mean, Cersei's it's a weird thing for me because I think Cersei's an amazing character. And seriously, you're going to want this uniform. If you're going to play her in World Boss Legend, you're going to want this uniform because you want this passive right here. You want this decreased damage received from supervillains to increase her tankiness. You're going to want this heal on this third skill so that way she has more survivability, because I'm telling you, in her base kit, she can die very, very easy. And she's stronger because of her passive where she increases her basic damage by 30% on top of the extra uniform stats, right? She's getting extra attacks. She's going to get all those uniform options. You can increase her HP. She's just going to be a lot better with the uniform. I mean, if you all want to see a comparison between the base kit and the uniform, I can do that. But I'm telling you, you're going to be really better off having the uniform. Cersei is an amazing character, but I have to admit, her accumulation can be quite annoying to play with. So it's really going to depend on the kind of player you are. I mean, if you really like timing those attacks, you like timing her skills, then you're probably going to love the living hell out of her. If you're one of those players that'd rather just, you know, smash into that accumulation based on the damage you deal and just run into your skills, like with someone like Moon Knight, then you're probably not going to care for playing with this character. It's really going to depend on your perception of what you think a good character is. But I mean, Cersei is awesome. She's a tanky character. She's got a lot of power, a lot of damage. But in all honesty, I really wish that she would have an accumulation based on the damage you deal. And I really wish this accumulation would last longer than 6 seconds, because if it was still accumulation based on how much damage you take and it lasted 10 seconds, you could run through your rotation afterwards and already have your accumulation up, right? So like when that first attack against Null, whenever I take that damage from that third skill and then I run into the purple, my accumulation's already up. And if it lasted 10 seconds when I run back into the 3-5-4 in the second rotation, I'd have the accumulation up. You do a lot more damage. I honestly think they kind of gypped her with the, at least the length of the accumulation. I could honestly deal with the accumulation based on the damage you take, as long if it would have just been a longer accumulation. But because it's 6 seconds, you have to time every single one of those accumulations and land your proc every single time on your skills. And she can be a bit frustrating because of that. But all in all, I do think Cersei is an amazing character. Definitely worth investing in. She is awesome. And the fact that you don't have to use near as many resources to level her up is pretty awesome. And by the way, notice that I am rank 10. I got a lot of love, an old girl. And I could actually give her a little bit more love. So let me know how y'all feeling about Cersei. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GMT plus 7 time. The link is in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See ya.